Hey guys, Sundown here. This is going to be my chapter review to One Piece 932, The Shogun and the Courtesan. Now, I know I rarely say that I dislike a chapter of One Piece, but this one was particularly good. The fact that it focused on the banquet, Robin, which is of the Nico variety, Komurasaki, made it very unique in and of itself. But the way the story develops this chapter in the short term is awesome, and I really enjoyed it. So, chances are this is going to be a pretty decently long review, so get some popcorn, get some Pop-Tarts or whatever it is y'all eat some of that. This is going to be a long review. The chapter starts with Komurasaki playing a song on the shamisen, a song the Shogun and his vessels all seem to enjoy. A shamisen being that 3-stringed kind of acoustic looking guitar, but more circular at the base. And they make mention of the fact that Komurasaki always wears a mask, and she wears that kitsune mask when she plays this song, possibly a favorite of Odin's and or her mother's, Lady Toki. Something she cries while playing or something like that, which is why I feel she wears a kitsune mask. Or maybe it's a tune she hates and makes a face full of wrath at because it's something that that the Shogun likes or something like that. Now the key point here is that she's wearing the kitsune mask, she's playing the shamisen. She is the lady between acts in at the beginning of the act when we first got to Wano, and between acts in Wano, that has been playing the shamisen. So maybe there's something larger going on there, but Komurasaki seems to be way more important to the story than we've already realized. And considering we think she's Hiyori, she's already quite important. But I'm not too sure what that means, considering she's the lady that opens and closes the acts and stuff like that. I'm not too sure what that means for the story, but that's the way it is. So we go back to Robin, who lies to Fukurokuju and the Oniwabanshu, telling them that she's the witching hour boy, and this doesn't work. As it turns out, the witching hour boy he'd already made his presence known in the capital earlier that day. Robin is immediately attacked, but had the forethought to make a body double, so scatters into cherry blossom petals, shocking the Oniwabanshu. They think it's some sort of demonic sorcery and stuff like that, even though they should be aware of devil fruits. As Robin makes like a tree and leaves, she informs Nami, Shinobu, Brook of what's gone down, and that there are 11 ninjas at the least in the in Orochi's castle. So she's referring to the Oniwabanshu. Not sure what they plan to do now with Robin blending into the party, but the Straw Hats work best when there is chaos. This has been shown multiple times, so they'll probably take advantage of the situation and evac Robin ASAP with Brook, Nami, and Shinobu. The Oniwabanshu are told to locate Robin as she elects to blend into the party instead of running solo, and I liked her thought there. It was pretty... You can tell it's Robin's kind of train of thought. She's intelligent, she knows what to do when she's on the run. She's only been doing it her entire life. Orochi calls her over. This is Robin as she blends back into the party, where she makes small talk and he flirts with her, making Komurasaki jealous, but not really. It's Komurasaki. She's Hiyori and she's not really into the Shogun. She's just it's her facade, it's her act. The court ladies ask Orochi if he's aware of what Komurasaki does behind the scenes, suggesting to their lord that he is above a courtesan, but particularly above Komurasaki because of the things she's done to men beforehand, and I'm not talking about the sexy time. While Robin maintains her wariness, aware of the Oniwabanshu around her, we hear one of Kiyoshiro's men talking about Komurasaki and how they wouldn't try to get with her, hinting at her beastly attitude towards men and money, and how she's kind of a gold digger. And that's what the ladies beforehand, possibly the geisha or possibly the other courtesans, were referring to when they were speaking to Orochi, when they were talking to Orochi about Komurasaki. And he's just saying she's beautiful, she's forgiven for that kind of stuff. This same guy then compliments Kiyoshiro on how he has raised Komurasaki, but he simply says, this is Kiyoshiro, he simply says it's because she was raised with the purest of water, suggesting that it's because of his class and social standing that he is able to accomplish such things, that he is able to make a prostitute on this level because of his social class and social standing. Kiyoshiro is then asked about sending out the Flying Six, telling his men that once he has drunk a cup of sake with any individual who has joined his Kiyoshiro family, be they lesser or greater men, they are family, and he will retaliate if they are hurt. Now, as corrupt and dirty as Kiyoshiro is, at least he lives up to the honor within the Yakuza, whatever honor that may be. So props for that. This is where the chapter starts to take a darker turn, with Orochi commending Kiyoshiro's willingness to use his full strength against his enemies. He then ties this into spirits, and his obsessiveness with the curse set upon him by Lady Toki begins to show its ugly face, rear its ugly head. So he gets everyone's attention and relates to them the words of Lady Toki, who said that this would be the year the 9 red scabbards would rise from their graves and come to seek revenge upon him. Of course, Lady Toki didn't actually mention the 9 red scabbards. She mentioned 9 shadows, but who's to say that she was referring to the scabbards at all? There are officially 9 Straw Hats in Wano right now, excluding someone like Carrot, who isn't really a Straw Hat. She's an ally to the Straw Hats, but there are 9 Straw Hats on Wano right now. As Orochi goes off on a fear-induced rant, we see the mood of the party change as guests become more and more disappointed in their shogun. You know, you're our leader. What the frick are you talking about? Why are you afraid of ghosts? And they're disappointed in Orochi for his fear of people who are dead and buried to their knowledge. Even when Orochi makes a valid point, which is the lack of a body for Momonosuke, which they should have found considering the castle burned down. And this raises the other point of they were only looking for Momonosuke, suggesting they weren't aware of Hiyori, or they were aware of Hiyori and Hiyori couldn't actually inherit the throne. She's not an heir to the throne like Momonosuke. It might be that, you know, because usually it's the son that is heir to the throne over the daughter now. Don't get on me for that. That's just the way shit is. That's the way history has always been. It'll probably change now. I mean, we got Queen in England, but all that shit. Don't get on my case. Now, Orochi is a slightly crazy guy who is ruled by his fear of the ghosts of the past, and this is what the people within his court seem to pick up on, and they already know this. They know he's this guy who's afraid of these ghosts that he's made in his head, but they're disappointed that he's bringing it up. They're disappointed that he keeps talking of it and that he won't just let it go. Upon mention of Momonosuke, we're shown a panel of Robin, who looks serious, and Komurasaki, oddly enough. I mean, like, I wonder why we'd see Komurasaki in that situation. And she seems to be more hesitant, more unsure and concerned. She has the ellipsis above her head. She seems to be considering like, oh shit, like this isn't going to go well. The mood completely switches here and people are laughing internally at the clearly mad shogun, calling him delusional, a coward, especially because he has Kaido at his back. He has nothing to fear. What are you afraid of when you have Kaido at your back? As the lords stifle their laughter, one person breaks out in hysterics all the way at the back of the hall, and this is where the chapter goes down. So everyone collectively shits their pants, knowing an offense like this would be punishable by death. No doubt about it. If you laugh at the shogun for a fear of his, he will slay your ass. He will have you killed. Orochi unsheathes his blade, looking for the source of his humiliation, looking to cut down the laughter and portray himself victorious, much like his victory over Odin, which he mentions this chapter and which I assume he wasn't entirely responsible for either. While another geisha tries to silence Otoko, who is the creature, the thing, the girl that is laughing, the Kamuro for Komurasaki, Robin shows concern for the little girl. Komurasaki stands and tells the shogun to stop. First of all, mighty balls coming from a courtesan telling the shogun what to do in front of his court. Komurasaki may be hot, but with balls that big, she a trap. While other lesser prostitutes complain to members of the court trying to save their little Kamuro, Orochi prepares to deliver the killing blow, until Komurasaki slaps him with a flick of a wrist. First of all, mighty balls coming from a courtesan to slap the shogun in front of his court. Komurasaki may be hot, but with balls that big, she a trap. Another thing, she barely puts any torque into the slap, yet delivers a pretty solid impact. I mean, like, she cranks this guy's neck pretty damn hard. And I get the feeling that Komurasaki may be more powerful than we know, or than we even expected, which is something I'm looking forward to. We need to see, like, the samurai-esque. I mean, I want to see it with Okiku, but I want to see it with her, and I want to see it with Komurasaki. I feel like she's more powerful than she's letting on, especially with a slap like that. So the court collectively shits their pants again, 2.0, telling Komurasaki to bow and beg forgiveness, to grovel like a dog. I thought Komurasaki would use her good looks to get out of this one, you know, like the typical Nami thing, like she'll slam someone, then like use her looks to get out of it, and they just like heart eyes and get out of it that way. But Oda surprised me and actually impressed me by having her stand her ground, telling the shogun and his court that she will not bow nor bend the knee. She will follow what she believes is right, that if the shogun wanted a weak woman, then he could dispose of her now, because that's not her, that she is the daughter of a samurai, and that she will not live in shame. Not gonna lie, this was powerful as fuck. It hit me right there. I was like, I love Komurasaki. She like, well, I take that back. I love this side of Komurasaki. We'll get to the other side later, but I like how we also see Robin in kind of like her battle pose. looking like she was just about to use clutch on the shogun, which would have been a whole other situation. Humiliated and hurt, the shogun unleashes his true form, turning into the mythical dragon Yamata no Orochi, and staring down at Komurasaki with all 16 of his eyes. However, once again, powerful as fuck. You see Komurasaki standing tall and proud, looking right up at the center head, ready for the shogun. Yeah, so she stood there. Meanwhile, Robin grabs a hold of the Otoko, getting ready to flee. She's found by a member of the Oniwabanshu. No doubt something that will make this more difficult for her to escape from. Kyoshiro gets up and starts to unsheath his blade, saying this is going to be a bloodbath. Now, we've never seen this guy fight, but something about him tells me that he might be powerful. Someone quite powerful. For someone like Page 1, for instance, an ancient Zoan user under Kaido himself, to refer to Kyoshiro as boss or Yabun suggests he might be quite powerful. You know, that level of respect, you don't just get it, you earn it. So I feel like Kyoshiro might be more powerful, or he's going to be incredibly weak. But just, I don't know, something about him, that Gin look with his thin eyes, his sharp stare, gets me feeling like he might be quite powerful. Finally, I'm not sure how long this review has gone on for, but it might have gone on for a little while. It might not be as long as I hyped up at the beginning. But I want to finish on one discussion point. What is Komurasaki's deal? Now, she's been shown to be a devilish, vile woman who has made men pay for her freedom and then breaks them down, saying that men without money are worthless, even though they'd expended all of that money on her. It's also been heavily suggested that she is quite good at her day job, possibly having slept with multiple men as well as Kyoshiro, possibly multiple times. She is, after all, the top-ranking prostitute in Wano. However, here, in this chapter, she stands tall in the face of danger, tall in the face of the shogun, championing the honor of the samurai, this allowing the shogun himself from hurting a child, even though she's been directly responsible for violating the hearts of men and humiliating them in front of crowds, disrespecting their name, their wealth, and destroying their honor in front of everybody. She also lets it slip here that she's the daughter of a samurai. Not exactly something that you'd expect from the highest ranking courtesan in the country, but she does mention that. She does say, and it doesn't look like an accident. She says it outright. She says that she will not live in shame. She's the daughter of a samurai. So, is she a vile woman who looks to exploit the people of Wano and is going to fight corruption with corruption? Has she lost her way? If she is Hiyori, has she lost her way, and is she's willing now to do everything within her imagination and beyond her imagination to gain vengeance upon the shogun and Kaido? Or are we going to find out that Hiyori, that Komurasaki, is a lot more pure and not quite what she seems? She hasn't done what is required of her job title, and she rose to her current level due to her beauty and Kyoshiro's ability to network. For all we know, this is just throwing it out there, Kyoshiro might even be her underling, someone like Kinemon to Momonosuke. It might be Kyoshiro for Hiyori. He might be her underling, and he's done his best to get her to the position she's in today, able to sit with the shogun during his own feasts and parties, but she hasn't done any of the dirty deeds that are required of a courtesan of her ranking. She hasn't slept with anyone. He hasn't slept with her. She hasn't done the things that she needed to do. I'm pretty sure y'all know what that is. But it could even be that Kyoshiro has protected her chastity, has protected her honor, has protected her pride, all that good stuff, has taught her who she needs to be and how she needs to be, which is why she's acting the way she is now. Because you have to remember, they're crediting Kyoshiro in this chapter for raising her, and maybe it's just been his networking and kind of this mythology, this lore that he's set up around her, and this allure around her that actually isn't who she is. It's just this kind of this myth, this fabrication of who her character is, but it's not at all who she is or what she brings to the table. So that's my take on this chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. I thought it was dope. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow when I release my My Hero Academia review. So I'll see you guys in a bit.